What made you choose the name Sky? The contraction pain was like no other. Does your Gucci still hurt? And a lot of people want to know if I tore. Hey guys, it's Katie. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be one that I'm so excited for because this is my last video, or not last video, this is my first video back not being pregnant, and I'm so excited to film this video. We're gonna be doing a Q&A of everything labor and delivery. I feel like there's so many questions that you guys have asked me that I haven't gotten the chance to respond to yet, and I'm just really excited because this was like such a cool experience, and it was a new one for me. It was something that like I literally like would, even though it was like a little stressful, like I would love to relive. And also that's why I'm so happy we have it like on YouTube and like documented, just because it's such a wild thing what women go through. Like labor and delivery is like, it's a lot. So I want to make a video answering all your guys' questions, and you guys can get like my perspective on like everything that I went through. With that being said, let's get started with the questions. Okay, question number one. A lot of people wanted to know how long I was pushing for. So technically I was pushing for about 20 minutes, like 18 to 20 minutes. That's like from the part where I was like, oh my gosh, I feel a contraction. And I felt like I could feel her head down there, which was really weird. And they said that that was gonna happen. They were like, when you'll get a contraction, you'll feel like you have this urge to push, this urge to poop. And for me, it was like, I felt the contraction. I was like, oh my God, I feel like she's coming out of me. Like I literally feel like something's there. And it didn't hurt, it just felt weird. Like I literally go, oh my God, Josh, call the doctor. Like she's gonna come out, like she might fall out, which that obviously didn't happen and that wasn't the case, but that's what it felt like to me. So I pushed for about 20 minutes and that was like the feeling of like when I knew, and then we called the doctor. What was probably the most stressful part about birth? So if you guys don't know everything, I definitely would recommend like going watch our podcast of the birth story so you guys can get the full story. But basically, quick rundown. I had a placenta abruption. We drove to the hospital at 3 in the morning. I didn't feel the baby's heartbeat, so that was like super stressful. It was so stressful to the point that my husband almost passed out. Then baby's heart rate kept dropping, and we just weren't sure if I was gonna go into emergency C-section or not. So I'd say that was definitely the most stressful part. At 3 a.m. when we drove to the hospital, by the time they were like wheeling me back to go see what was going on, I didn't feel the baby's heartbeat yet. So like to me, I think I was so stressed and so much adrenaline that I had the shakes. Like my legs were nonstop shaking, and I felt like the whole time I was just like praying to God that everything was okay, because like I was just scared. I woke up in the middle of the night with like a lot of blood, which is like very not normal. As you're supposed to wake up to like your water breaking, and everything that I read online wasn't really good, and I was just very stressed. So that definitely was very, very stressful, and definitely the most stressful part. But luckily everything ended up working out, and baby girl's healthy, I'm healthy, so it's all good. If you could, would you want to have a home birth if you have another baby? Absolutely not. Absolutely. Just because of everything that happened during this labor and delivery process, I think not. Because of the abruption, I don't even think that would have necessarily been a possibility. Yeah, because I almost had to go in for emergency C-section, and I'd rather be there making sure that everything goes right. I think it's really cool when people do that. Like I don't want to knock that at all. I think that's really cool. I think that would be so hard. And I'll get into those questions about the epidural and the pain and all. But for me personally, I don't see that in my future. How was the pain of the contractions once you had the epidural? So this is actually a good one because the contraction pain was like no other. Like I can't even describe it. At first, I literally like didn't even hurt at all. I'm like, oh, this isn't bad. It's just like a bad period cramp. Then I was like, oh wow, these are like really bad period cramps. And then it got to the point where I was like, I couldn't even like function. Like I don't even know how to explain it. It was so bad. And I feel like I have a high pain tolerance. So the whole time I was like, I feel like I'm being a baby. Like I was like, and then they're like, no, you're not. Like this is like pretty tough. And I'm like, no, I can handle pain. Because there's like all these people who do it like natural, but I also was on Pitocin, and they did say that Pitocin can make the contractions stronger. And I think my contractions, when it got really bad, I dilated from 1 centimeter to 6 centimeters really quick. So the contractions were like really, really intense. I don't know if that like has anything to do with it or not, but those contractions, I got no break from. It wasn't like I had a bad contraction and then I had like a couple minutes in between. It was like I had the worst contraction ever, and then the 20 seconds of like my break was like my worst period cramp ever. So it was like I never literally got a break from each contraction. So I felt like, yeah, I probably went through that for like 2.5, 3 hours of really bad contractions until I got the epidural. That was definitely the most painful part. how long was the birth? The pushing was only like 20 minutes, 18, 20 minutes, whole like day. We checked in at 3 a.m. and then we didn't have her until that night at 10 p.m. So it was about like 22, 23 hours-ish. That's how long we checked in, got admitted, and then actually till the time we had her. What made you choose the name Sky? Okay, so honestly, I did like the name Skylar, but I wasn't sold on Skylar. I just always liked that name growing up. And then I saw the name Sky on like one of those like baby listings. I was like, wait, that is so pretty. Like, I think it's just like a unique and cool name. And I also like thought it was just like, I don't know, I just felt like it really fit. And what's actually crazy is I didn't tell anyone the name. My sister Jasmine knew the name because I was going over like baby names that I was like, okay, do you like this name? Do you like this name? I was going over like names with her. And then I was told her that that was like one of my top names if it was a girl, because at this point we didn't know. And then after the gender reveal, she's like, oh, so you're naming her Sky, right? I'm like, don't tell anyone. I was like, yes, that's the name I like, but like, don't tell a soul. And the reason I didn't want to tell anyone is because I don't want people's like opinions and being like, oh, it's cute, but I think like this would be better. Oh, no, that's cool. Or like, you know, it's like the way they react would make me like change, and I really didn't want to change it because I loved it. And like at the end of the day, it is my kid, and like it's a name that I'm gonna be calling them forever. So it's like the parents get to choose the name, and that's what it is. I love it. Josh loves it. And it's funny, my sister Biz, she was like, oh yeah, like what is the name? I was like, oh, I'm not telling you. I'm not telling anyone. Jasmine knows, but that's only because of that reason. And she's like, well, she's going off some names, and she's like, you know what I could totally see you naming her is Sky. And I was like, what? I was like, how did you even know that like, I was like, Jasmine must have told you the name. She's like, no, I swear. She's like, I swear on my life. Like, I don't know, it fits you guys so well. And then I thought that was like a total like, okay, good. Like, that's so funny that she even guessed that, because like that is such a not that common of a name. It's not like crazy unique, but it's definitely not that common. So I thought that was kind of cool. And she's like, also like, it's just so cool because like Josh skydives. I'm like, that's not why we named her that, but like, I think that's cute too. I just thought it was a really pretty name. And also about the name, what's really funny is we were gonna spell it S-K-Y, like the sky, but then we added the E. And honestly, like at first I was so set on just S-K-Y. And then Josh like called me one day, he's like, wait, I think I like it with the E better. I was like, do you? And I was like, I don't know. And then I was like looking, I was like, wait a minute, I think I do too. I'm like, how was I so set on it this way? Now I'm like totally changed my mind. And then I asked my sister Jasmine, I was like, do you like it with the E better? She's like, oh, 100%. I was like, why didn't you tell me that? She's like, well, it was your baby. I didn't want to change it. I was like, oh, well, I appreciate that. But yeah, so we changed it with the E. Was it easy? It seemed very easy for you to us. So the overall labor and delivery, I would say not easy. It was just a journey. I don't know how to describe it. I feel like everyone is different. Like if I didn't have the epidural, then I think it would have been indescribable. I don't know. It would have been literally awful, like awful. Because of the epidural, I feel like I totally enjoyed like the actual like pushing her out, like the labor process was so fun to me. And like that part, like that was something that I would totally love to do again. Now I understand why people are like, that's the best part of having a baby is like giving, like from pregnancy to labor. They're like, oh my God, I love labor. Now I understand that because I genuinely did love it. And if I didn't have the stress of like not knowing if we were gonna be rushed in for a C-section, I think I would have even enjoyed it 10 times more, and I still enjoyed it. Like the whole pushing process, it was just really cool. It was really motivating. It was like, especially having like Josh there hyping me up, and like all the doctors were so sweet. Like I just think that was such a special, like they're like, you got this, like, oh my gosh, you're killing it. Like, I don't know, it just felt really cool and really empowering, and I thought it was really cool to see like what our bodies can do. It just felt like such a blessing in that moment too. So I don't know, I just really, really, really liked it. But it wasn't easy, but it wasn't hard. Because I had that epidural, I didn't feel like it was painful. But like mentally it was a little hard because of like all the stress. But yeah, no, it wasn't too hard. I think after was a little hard, but like, I don't know, when I say hard, it's like, I don't, like not even in a complaining way. To me, it's like, it was hard-ish after, but it was so rewarding that it almost makes it easy, because it's like, for what you get, for what you had to go through, it's easy. You know, like you get the biggest blessing in your life to go through something that was hard, but like, I don't know, it was just worth it. How is postpartum going? How do you feel? so far, and I don't want to jinx it, I feel amazing. I feel so good. I feel so happy. I feel so content. Every day is like so much fun. Even like on my birthday, I did literally like nothing all day because we have a newborn, and that was like the plan because we can't really take her too many places yet, and we didn't want to. And we just ordered food in. It was honestly my best birthday ever just because it's like taking care of her. Like I just feel like I have so much more purpose, so much more to do. I don't know, I love being a mom and I love taking care of her. I feel like personally, and I know people have said this and it's been so sweet, people are like, you're glowing, like you have a postpartum glow. I feel it because I'm so like happy that I feel like I have this little glow. Not even like how I look, like literally how I feel. So hopefully it stays that way because postpartum I know is very, very serious and that can seem very scary, and I definitely don't want to have to experience that, but so far so good. Let's hope it stays this way. I am just praying nonstop that I can be in a good mood, that my hormones are balanced, the baby girl is healthy, and yeah, that's all I can do. Were you scared when you first went into labor? How was Josh when you realized it was happening? I was scared when we woke up and there was like a ton of blood in the bed because we just didn't know what was going on. And then I was a little, not nervous to start pushing, but I was like nervous that everything would just go as planned. Like I was just, I don't know, sometimes you get like negative thoughts in your head, like what if this happened? Or like your mind can go to such dark places. And then like, I don't know, once I heard her cry for the first time, like I felt like this like calming, like everything's gonna be okay feeling. So I feel like I was just nervous for like everything to go smoothly. When did your mom come to Arizona? Right after you gave birth? No, it actually worked out perfect. So she came literally the night before I went to labor. She flew in at like 11 o'clock at night, and then we like went to bed at like midnight, and then I went into labor like 3 hours later. I'm like, talk about timing. So it was really nice to have my mom here and help out with the baby and get all the newborn snuggles and all that. So it worked out literally perfect timing. Like I don't think you could time that more perfectly. What was the most painful thing for you? Definitely the contractions. Those were no joke. I can't even describe that. Like and they're like, breathe through it. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't breathe through it. And honestly, the epidural was not painful at all. It wasn't even bad. The contractions were so much worse. I'm like leaning over and they're giving me the epidural, and the needle of the epidural literally was like distracting me from the pain of my contraction. Like it felt good. Like literally the needle, I was like, oh, that feels like nothing. Like honestly, this contraction's like way worse. How do you look so good not even a week after giving birth? First of all, thank you so much. I just feel like right now I'm so happy. So I feel like that's like radiating. But then if you're talking about like size wise, I feel like maybe it's just because I've worked out a ton during my pregnancy, because I was super blessed to have a very smooth pregnancy, like where I felt really good and everything. And I definitely think you can like bounce back a lot better if you work out the entire pregnancy. But also like, I don't want to give everyone like oh, like she just bounced right back. Like, yes, I look good, but also I don't look exactly how I used to look. So for me, it's still different. Like my body is still completely different than it was, but I'm totally okay with that. And I like want to express that like, it's okay if your body is different than before, because you just grew a human inside you. You just gave birth. Like my stomach is not the same that it was. And like, there's lots of things on my body that like I would notice, that I'm excited to get back and work out and do the things that I love. But I'm also like so in the newborn phase of just like taking care of my baby that like that's number one for me right now. But I'm excited also to take care of myself and go work out and stuff. But it's okay if your body's different. Like literally there's so much that's changed about my body, but it makes me love my body even more just because I'm like, I just grew a whole child, pushed it out of me, and now I am taking care of it. Like that's sick. Like that's so much cooler than like how you look, in my opinion. Does your Gucci still hurt by the way you ate that up? And a lot of people want to know also if I tore. So let's talk about that. I tore. I had a 4th degree tear, which is probably the worst tear you can have. Not to get graphic, but that means you tear literally all the way from one private part to the next private part, all the way. So your girl had a terrible tear. They stitched me up for what felt like an hour to an hour and 20 minutes, which I'm pretty sure is at least 45 minutes. It was somewhere from, I think, an hour, over an hour, they stitched me up. It was not good. But while they were stitching me up the whole time, I was like, oh my God, Josh, I was like, this is bad. I'm not gonna be able to walk. I was like, I'm never gonna be able to walk. I am now, tonight will be 7 days postpartum, like exactly from when it happened, and I feel really good. I'm definitely not anywhere near 100%, still kind of uncomfortable, but the pain of what I thought it was gonna be is not nearly as bad as what it's been. It's just been uncomfortable, but it's not that bad. And I would do it all over again. Even like, cause I don't know, even before I thought like, I'm like, oh my God, if you tore just a little bit, like a little stitch, like that would be the worst pain in your life. Now I'm like, oh my God, if I only tore like a little bit, like that would have been so much easier because I literally had the worst tear. And I feel fine. It's fine. I mean, it's definitely, it was really hard for me. It was really hard when we were at the hospital because those first 2 days were kind of tough. Getting up and down, like I literally physically had to like pick myself up, and it was so hard and I felt so weak. And thank God for my husband who was taking care of Sky. He literally was so good. I didn't change a single diaper the first 2 days in the hospital, and he was taking care of her. He was swaddling her. He was changing her diapers. I was feeding her, but he was like bringing her to me because like I just couldn't get up and down unless I had to go pee. And yeah, it was that part was really hard, but it was really helpful to have Josh. It feels good down there. Not great, not 100%, but that's okay. I feel like I'm just recovering from like a surgery. After the birth experience, would you still want more kids? 100%. It literally makes me want to have so many kids. Would you say you had an easy or hard birth? I'd say in between. It was an easy birth. Well, I guess I did tear 4th degree, so I don't know if someone would consider that easy. I'd say it was a medium level birth because of the tear and then the after part. That's why I classify it as medium. While I was actually pushing, I didn't feel anything. Like I thought that part was so fun to me because like the epidural was totally working, didn't feel a thing. Although I did feel a contraction towards the end with an epidural, which I'm like, oh my God, if I have the epidural in, and I could feel this contraction, I can't imagine how bad it would be without. I was breastfeeding going, luckily, so good. I hope it stays this way. She has been so good. She loves to eat. And I'm really excited because at first, the first day, I don't know if I was like feeding her enough. And then we went to the pediatrician like 2 days or a day after we got out of the hospital. And then they were like, yeah, you got to put her on formula. And I was like, well, I haven't even got like a chance to like really breastfeed her yet. Like my milk is literally just coming in. They wanted me to put her on formula, but I didn't because I was like, I don't know. I just had this like, I don't know if it was like a mom intuition, but I was like, I haven't even got the chance. The only reason she lost a little bit of weight was because I wasn't feeding her as much as I should. She's like still, she feeds really good. So I was like, I'm just gonna give her more food. And because we had an appointment in like 4 days, I was like, I'll give her 4 days. I was like, I'm gonna go like try really hard to be on a schedule with like breastfeeding and like get her weight up. And we went to the pediatrician today and she got her weight all the way up back to birth weight. And they were like, wow, she gained so much weight so fast. And I was like, we did it. Breastfeeding has been going amazing and hopefully it continues to be that way. I'm trying to, I haven't been pumping or anything, but I do have like a Haka where I'm trying to like collect extra milk. That way I can put it in the freezer so that way I can build up like a stash. So like when we do go out and someone's like watching her, whether it's like a family member or someone, that they can like give her a bottle. Push present. So there's actually gonna be a whole video on it, but Josh got me this really cute ring right here. It's a really cute video and a really sweet meaning behind it. So I love it. I've been wearing it every single day. Birth easier or harder than you thought? It's actually exactly what I thought, minus the stressfulness of the abruption. If that wouldn't happen, that wasn't part of my plan in my head, but that's okay because God had a completely different plan for us. And honestly, I just feel like it made me grow stronger in my faith because the entire time I was praying, the entire time I was like, I don't know, I just put all my trust in God. And then even like my discharge papers of like what happened, of like why I came in a hospital, it said like 40 weeks gestation, basically meaning I'm 40 weeks pregnant, an abruption, and then it said spontaneous vaginal delivery, which basically in my opinion kind of means like they didn't think that I was gonna have to go in for a vaginal delivery, but it was like spontaneous. And like to me, I mean, I take it as like God was with us and like I was praying for that the entire day. And I just felt like God was with us in the room. And my entire pregnancy, I prayed that like angels would be with us in the room and that we would get good labor and delivery nurses. And honestly, that's what happened. So to me, it just like made my faith stronger. Meaning behind Sky May. Well, actually the May meaning's kind of cool, like the middle name, because one, we really just love the name. Two, it's the same middle name as my aunt and my niece, Maya. Her name's Maya May. Josh and I met in May, which I think is really cool too. So we met the month of May and we just really like the name. So it has lots of meaning behind it. And my dad and my sister were also born in May. How is postpartum going? You make it look easy. Don't you experience bleedings? Yes, I mean, it's definitely like uncomfortable. And I was in diapers up until today and I'm still wearing like pads and stuff. But the first like couple days, like they weren't easy, like to go to the bathroom and everything. And like I had to be on like stool softeners, like all this stuff, like postpartum care was no joke. Like, I mean, I was in a diaper, then I'd wear like a big pad, and then I'd put like this foam, and then I'd have to use like a certain bottle to go pee, and I'd have to put these little cooling pads down. Like every time I went to the bathroom, it was a process, and like it wasn't easy, but like I was just excited to like experience it all. And like, I don't know, like I have the most perfect little baby, like that I'm like taking care of. So like I feel like I can't even complain because like I'm just so excited, you know? What is the best part of motherhood? I love being a mom so much. I don't even know. I can't even explain it. It's just so fun to like take care of her. Like even when I'm getting up in the middle of the night, like I'm not like pissed I have to get up and like feed her or anything. Like I'm like excited. Like I don't know what it is. Like I feel like this past week has been the best week of my life, and I'm like so excited. I don't want the days to end. Like it's like 10 o'clock or like 11 o'clock and I'm like getting sad because I'm like, oh, that means I have to like go to bed soon. And like I just love like waking up. I love feeding her. But even at night, like I get to see her, I feed her, you know, I'm trying to like get some sleep, but like I also don't want to sleep because I'm still so excited. I love leaving the house now, even though it's more challenging. I love the challenge. I love like, I'm like, wait, we gotta pack her diaper bag. We gotta do this. Like, I'm like, it's so fun being a mom so far. And just her little eyes like look up at you and they're just so helpless and they like need you. And she's just so cute and so perfect, and she looks so much like her dad, and I love it. No, it's just, I don't know. Josh and I literally like the other day, we went to go post like our video of like the labor and delivery on YouTube, and we literally were just like looking at her, and like we posted it and we were like just crying because we were like, it's just such a special moment, and like we were just like, how did this happen? Like we have the most like amazing like little daughter, like we love each other so much. It's like, I don't know, it's just such a cool experience that I can't even explain. I just think it's so cool that we get to share that with like other people online as well. To me, it's like a very vulnerable, like very special moment that I just love. It's so special to me. But this video is gonna get way too long, so I gotta wrap it up. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this Q&A. Maybe I'll do like a part 2 on it if you guys like this. Let me know what other videos you guys wanna see. I'd love to make a ton of different like mom content, and then some content that's like not mom, kind of more like lifestyle-y. So comment down below what type of videos you guys wanna see from me, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.